Hi, you're back with Follow the Crop with Craig and Abby, and we're back in Yorkshire in our field of Innovator. Last time we were here, it was about 3 weeks ago, and the crop was in full flower. Pretty much all the flowers have gone now. We're into Stable Canopy and the crop is bulking up well. Craig, can you give us a bit of what's happened in the last 3 weeks with the Blight programme?
Yeah, sure. We've now had 7 applications go onto this crop on 7-day interval since we started with rosette spray. We now have gone through the rapid growth phase, and as you said, we're into the stable canopy phase of the crop. The intervals have been maintained pretty well despite the amount of irrigation that's had to go on here, and you would have seen that from the booms and reels which are working hard further down the field here. We've now had 2 Zorvecs go on this crop through rapid growth, as you would have recommended, because of the movement into the new shoots. Obviously we're in Innovator here, which is a strongly determinate variety. However, the likelihood is that this crop will keep going for 14 or maybe 15 sprays, in which case it's likely that we could have a third Zorvec, even within the 20% of the total number of applications that we're allowed.
The weather has been really warm this year and incredibly dry in comparison to previous years. So the farm has been irrigating regularly and the crop looks fantastic for it. So how will that irrigation affect the blight pressure going forwards?
We have had the Hutton criteria being met on 2 or 3 occasions locally, but not as frequently as we've seen in some other parts of the country, particularly the south, southwest and west. However, we have to bear in mind that with the irrigation that has been necessary on here, the conditions within the crop canopy can be quite different from those that are reflected if we were working purely on the model. And therefore maintaining the 7-day interval has been important and actually quite challenging for the team here, but they have successfully managed to do that, and therefore that explains why it's looking so well. And you can clearly see on the leaf here that they've also been utilizing a chunk of mancozeb, because you've got the residue, white residue on the leaf surface here, giving an indication that that was in probably the last 1 to 2 applications. So Abby, last time we were in the field, you referenced that we were having some BlueN go on this crop. I believe it has now been applied, and would you care to say a little more about that?
Yep, so the BlueN was applied about a week after we were here, so mid-June. It went on really well. We've had really sunny weather. We've got the irrigation as we talked about, so the crop's been under no drought stress, which means we've had maximum photosynthesis in the field, which means we've had good colonization by the bacteria, and we'd expect that the bacteria will be fixing about 3 kilos of nitrogen per hectare per week into the field from now until burn down. And then when we get to burn down, we'll see that boost in tubers as we dig them up.
That's great. That wraps it up from the field for this time. We'll be back in a few weeks' time, around about burn down, and we'll have a look at how the yield has built over that time and see how the BlueN has done.